Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Spiritual Readiness on the Time of the Shift. Today, I want to talk about finding your puzzle piece and fulfilling your purpose in the time of the quickening. Many millennial and Generation X individuals are finding in their soul a desire to fulfill themselves. Whatever life path, traditional life path that they have been following, whether they went to school for whatever profession, they are finding it very quickly to become very unfulfilling. I have crossed that road because I went to graduate school for architecture. I have a license in architecture. I practiced architecture for many years. And I used to have an experience around lunchtime that would chill me. It was typically after lunch in the afternoon, a voice would come in my head and whisper to me, "You're lying. You're a fraud." And I knew that I had to figure out a way to exit. It took me more than 3 years of preparation to orchestrate the exit because I had loans and responsibilities and debt that I had to get rid of. But what I'm finding in this time of acceleration to be troubling is that a lot of these young, well-meaning souls are quickly moving into claiming a profession or a healing modality or profession without having no real masteries. This is important because I have been in my spiritual journey since I was 11 years old. While I was doing all of the normal life path things, I was still on a weekly basis taking classes, studying. I was still deeply involved in honing my skills so that I can learn and understand and know who I am. Now, having just the feeling and knowing intuitively that you're not supposed to be on this path and you're supposed to be X, Y, Z and do something else is not enough. Okay? You can feel, for example, that you can appear to be one thing and inside you feel like you're little Bo Peep or Bambi, but it doesn't really make you that per se. You have to grow into it. And that's important because a lot of these beautiful souls are now using marketing technique to sell themselves as this new being, although feeling wise. And part of it is because a lot of it is related to journeying in medicine. Like if you see yourself in a vision or during a meditation, or that's what you're supposed to be, and then you think you're already there just because you saw it, when in fact that's not the truth. You have to grow and evolve into it. Okay? And that's important. That nuance is important because the moment you begin to now bring yourself into an understanding that you are you have to grow into it and you apply yourself, you get the skill set, you get the training. There is no shortcut to true spiritual change. Evolution in consciousness, there is no shortcut for it. There is no medicine that can take you there. The medicine is a tool to give you a window into something else. But the work that you need to do to change and transform your consciousness is hard. I'm not joking. It's really hard. And more importantly, because we are masters of self-deceit, the work is very deep and profound. And it has to do with you coming to terms with the lies that you're telling yourself. And that, my friend, is deep work. And the moment you begin to realize what consciousness or what weakness in my personality has caused me to believe falsely that I was this when in fact I am that. And the moment you reconcile that weakness, you don't have to be this anymore. This becomes your new identity. Now, here is the challenge. We're living to the quickening. This identity remains for a while, but it is not your final identity. I can tell you, for example, for me, when I begin to realize that I had to get out of my corporate environment, it took me, I had to figure out what it is that was the new me, what was going to, and for me, it was a feeling. It was not a vocation. It was not a profession. It was a feeling. And it was that feeling that I had to transform into a business plan and figure out a way that I could pay my bill and support myself, and at the same time, help society, help the earth, help humanity, right? But that feeling over time, because I've been doing this for a little while, has evolved and changed multiple times. This is where the quickening comes in. The quickening, and my guide are talking all the time about having spiritual agility. The quickening is that feeling that you had originally will evolve multiple times during that period. It's like a dimmer switch that's bringing light in, fading it in very slowly. And then within a few years or a few months, all of a sudden you realize, I thought I was this, I am now that. I thought I was that, then I have to become that. And you keep evolving and you keep expanding and becoming much more comfortable in your own skin. Right now, it's the most comfortable that I have ever been in my entire life. And I'm still evolving. And the issue with spiritual agility is that if you left this and you think that's who you are, you left your corporate job and you think that's the new the new identity that you have. And that new identity now, you're setting roots and you're refusing to move as now the energy is moving somewhere else. That's the problem. And I'm finding the people who have that kind of rigidity and cannot continue to evolve as the energy is evolving and growing, they are the ones that are in crisis. Although you may have the healing work that you're doing, many are finding that healing work, whether it is that they're doing Reiki or they're doing, any kind of other healing work, suddenly they're finding that in itself is empty. It's not giving them fulfillment because they've already evolved. That purpose has now been renegotiated and it's now something else. So your purpose may not be to be the corporate XYZ. It may be about doing something that's going to better humanity. But that in itself will continue to grow and evolve over time. And you have to be agile enough to allow yourself to change and to mutate into the new, higher, and more evolved version of your purpose and of yourself. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's kind of for me, it's important. You start first with whatever that feeling is. That seem to, when you do it, there's an activity that when you do it, you feel completely alive. Everything inside of you is fired up and you feel completely at peace. Whatever it is, now work, accumulate as much knowledge and as much that you can so that you can reach mastery for that. And trust me, it's not a few months. If it's a few months kind of work or a year kind of work, this is not the way. The real mastery, particularly of the healing hearts, take years of work. Be true. Remember, the frequency of the human earth, authenticity, truth, and transparency. Because if you are doing some sort of abridged version, because there's a tendency in the light community and a lot of the millennial and Generation X have that mentality. Everybody's looking for a hack, a shortcut, a quick way to actually get to where they want to be. In terms of evolution of consciousness, there is no such thing as a hack. It doesn't exist. You have to put the work to remove the lies and the self-deceit. You have to remove your blind spots, and that, my friend, takes time. And the moment you begin to stop, but the moment you begin that work, it becomes much easier for you to keep recognizing it. The moment you go in and you're learning how to do this, and you've done it for several different identity, all of a sudden it's become the new normal, and it's become very easy for you to continually move in perpetually in that mode. So my suggestion to all of you who are seeking to fulfill and to find your purpose, go within, see what exists within your soul and your core. And there is a Dantian exercise I did in an earlier video. Find the Dantian exercise and sit in the Dantian and try to figure out in what way are you lying to yourself. And that process of elimination will eventually give you your core and who you really are. And as I said, it's not going to be a profession. It's never a devotion or of that nature. It's a feeling. And from that feeling, you have to evolve into trying to create a business practice that will now fulfill you, that will now support you. And from that support, be prepared to have multiple evolutionary versions of that feeling growing and growing and growing. God is perpetually becoming. God is not a static point. And if we're trying to merge with God by ascending, we should not be a static point as well. And given the fact that everything is moving faster, these revelations are happening within a year, multiple of them at the same time. So it caused some to have challenges, but for those of us who have been doing this for a while, we welcome these changes. And as these changes occur, we simply shift and move ourselves into a new version, a new understanding of ourselves. It's like software upgrades. And then there's a new software upgrade, and there's a version 2.0, 2.01, 2.02, 2.0, and so on and so forth, until we get ourselves to you know, no matter how many version upgrade happens, as long as you're being authentic and true to yourself at every step of the way, you're going to be fine. Now, I hope that you found this video helpful. Please like the video and also subscribe to the channel. More importantly, if this is congruent with you, please share it. I put a video every week, and I would love for you to leave comments and questions and ask me. And more importantly, give me ideas and suggestions about topics that you would like for me to discuss. I look forward to talking to you next week. Namaste. Blessings to you all. Thank you.